The true believers, those who give genuinely for the sake of Allah, do you know what they say? We have fed you for the sake of Allah. We don't even want from you a recompense, nor do we want you to say thank you. I don't even want you to say thank you. Shukuran. I don't want shukr from you. Thanks. It's Allah. My reward is with Allah. It's okay. What I've done for you is actually for Allah. But because Allah made a need come in front of my eyes, it was my duty to do something about it. I did something and I carried on. That's why the end of Surah Ad-Duha, Allah says, وَأَمَّا السَّائِلَ فَلَا تَنْهَرْ. As for the one who is asking, don't rebuke him. You know the beggars you see, no matter where they are, those who come to you in order to ask, no matter who they are, don't rebuke them, don't insult them, don't belittle them. That's a verse of the Quran. There's someone begging on Kromboom here down the road. Every year I come, I see the same guy. If I can't give him at least, Alaykum as-salam, how are you my brother? Or maybe don't say anything. Some people say, no, you guys are giving, you're going to support these guys, you're going to create a huge syndicate, whatever. Hang on, relax. Either you give or you don't give. The choice is definitely yours. Do it with respect. That's all. Don't harm the man. Like I said earlier, it is better to be a person who doesn't give and doesn't harm than to be someone who gives and harms. I give and you've got to hear for the rest of your life. You know, I'm a person, I'm going to let you in on something personal. To accept a gift from people is very, very difficult. Even if that gift is worth 10,000 rands. I try my best to avoid it. The reason is, I know the payment of it shall be 50,000 rands. I'd rather keep your gift. We maintain that respect and I maintain my freedom. Subhanallah. I'm giving you something about myself. Why did I learn that? It might help me. Yes, you wanted to give me a mobile phone. Thank you. I appreciate your gesture. But guess what? I'm not going to take it. The reason is, I love you so much. I don't want it to come between you and I. I don't. And I know I'm going to have to pay for it. Because tomorrow you phone me 12 at night. Hey, I need this, I need that. I feel obliged. I'm now a hypocrite. I'm not doing it because I want to. I'm doing it because, hey, the guy gave me a phone, man. You see what I'm saying? It's tough. Not everyone thinks like that. I'm one who prefers to say, listen, maintain your independence and you can make your decisions. The point I'm raising is, when you give someone something, ensure that it's respectful. If I gave him, it's for the sake of Allah. If I didn't, I maintained that respect and I walked away. So this is Allah. Allah's plan is that He will give you more than what you need in order to see what you do with the excess. A lot of the times we have extra, we forget about building the castle of the akhirah while we're building our palace here. And I always tell the brothers, mashallah, you know, who work really hard. And mashallah, when you get to the age of 45, 50, 60, you finally made a little bit of money. Well, nowadays for our daughters, we're looking for the wealthiest of the wealthy. They must already have a house and a Porsche, and a Ferrari as well as a Porsche. Because a Ferrari apparently is supposed to be better than a Porsche. Subhanallah. But we don't realize when we married, when our fathers married, they didn't even have a house. They didn't even own a car in a lot of cases. And they worked for 30, 40 years. And we were so happy. We used to go to school and come back not knowing it's a rented property. Not knowing the guy's working so hard and he's sweating and he's making us. But for our daughters, we're looking for those who are already the kings, you know, wealthy. Otherwise, so what happens? We've compromised the quality of individual because we're looking only at wealth. That's what it is. Why am I saying this? Because the average human around, in fact, do you know the majority of the people on earth can never own a home and they will not own a house. If you have a house that belongs to you and you're sleeping in it, you're already top 30% of the globe. Did you ever know that? Check the statistics tonight. There's a sheikh that you can rely on for those type of statistics known as Sheikh Google. Yeah. And to be honest, you've worked so hard and now you're 50 years old, 55, 60, you're building your house, finally, mashallah. What's happening? It's going to take you 2 years to build, minimum 2 years to build. If you're in Zimbabwe, you can add a 0 to that because we're famous to do that anyway. But It's going to take you a while. When you've built it, how old are you? 55. How many years do you have to live? If you're lucky, 20. 75, right? That's a brilliant age. If you're beyond 75, you're beyond average. Beyond 70 is beyond average, according to the hadith. 65 is about average. Subhanallah, may Allah grant us good health. I see people are looking at me so worried. It's okay, don't worry, relax. May Allah give you long life. May Allah give you health and happiness and contentment. But you're going to live in this house for 20 years. And after that, where are you going to go? For another, already people have passed away for longer than they were alive. Have you ever thought of what that means? People have passed away for longer than they were alive. Those who died 1,000 years ago, they lived for 60, 70 years. Those who died 200 years ago, they lived for 60, 70 years if they were lucky. So they've been dead for longer than they were alive. But they prepared for those 20 years in a way that they forgot about preparation for the rest. Allah says, if you want to prepare for the rest, reach out to others. We'll do the rest for you. Your link with Allah, absolutely important, prime. It's number one. Don't compromise that. But tonight, we're talking about charity. So I'm telling you, you want to build your akhirah, you want to build your hereafter, you want to build your paradise, learn to give, and give so much that subhanallah, Allah keeps giving you. I remember once I was sitting and discussing this matter, and one of the ulama said something that I'll never forget. He says, when you pledge a monthly amount to a certain good cause, say for example to orphans, right? I pledge 1,000 rands every month, or 500 rands, or 100 rands every month for this orphanage, for example. It's sustenance written for them, not for you. But Allah gave them through you. So Allah has to give you before it gets to them. So you will always have. You following what we're saying? I pledged it, and it's going to continue. A day might come when you're struggling a little bit. How am I going to give this? Give it. Allah will give it to you. But please understand, you need to work for it. And Allah gives you the barakah because you worked for it in the name of Allah. You don't just sit back and say, right guys, did you hear what the Mufti said the other day? Give and you shall receive. I gave 70,000. Now I'm sitting at home looking at the ceiling, hoping. The tornado might come and wash your whole ceiling off. May Allah not do that to us. Could happen. You say, hey, that's the angel opening up here. No way. Something grossly has gone wrong. You're lazy, you're sitting back. Go and work. If you work, Allah will give you blessing. Can I tell you? This is by far probably the most powerful statement you're going to hear this evening. Zakat is the 2.5% in most cases that you have to give of your savings, and there is a way of calculating what you need to look at, and after the year you need to give 2.5%. For who? For Allah. It means that belongs to who? To you or to Allah? To Allah. The wealth was Allah's, and He gave you 97.5 and He told you, hang on, 2.5 is my change. Where is my change? You need to give it to Allah. It was never yours. If you left it in your system, He's going to take it from you by hook or crook. Through sickness, through illness, through accident, through disease, through fires, through anything. The money is going to go from you. It was never yours. He's going to take it. If you gave it with your heart, Allah says it will cleanse you. خُذْ مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ صَدَقَةً تُطَهِّرُهُمْ. Take from them that charity, that zakah, which will clean them. It will cleanse them. It's our wealth. We want that back. We gave you 100 and you know we told you in advance that, hey, we're waiting for the change. Someone comes to your store, they buy worth $97.50. They give you a $100 bill and you say, thanks. What? I'm waiting. But the amount is negligible. Negligible or not, it's my change. You're going to be in trouble if you don't give it to me. Okay? Same happens with Allah. In fact, وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى. The example of Allah is far higher than that. This is why they say when we're struck with calamity and lots of money is spent or gone, first question you ask yourself, have I paid my zakat properly? I'm sorry to say it is a question you have to ask yourself. You may have. If you have, you've ticked that off. It's now something else. Sometimes it's just a test from Allah. A lot of the times if you're patient, Allah will grant you much more. It's just a test. But it's a question you need to ask. Like when you're not well, you go for a blood test to check all your markers. Not because you definitely have a certain disease, but to tick it off, to make sure it's not that. So it's a question you need to ask yourself. Subhanallah. If you want to know the type of person you are. If you want to know more about yourself, your character, because the hadith says the best from among you are those with the best character. That's a hadith. The best from among you are those with the best character. So if you would like to know, where do I fit in? There is a test, litmus test. You can test yourself. Ask yourself one question. The answer of it will tell you who you actually are.